Yo, good morning, guys. Just coming on here, doing the live for the day. It's, like I said, it's gonna do one every day. I can't help myself. I was gonna try not to. They're just not gonna be as long as, the other ones. Yeah, I ramble on sometimes. I guess it's just gonna be more of, I'll talk about the group that's on here, and I will make sure that I put up a post and that sort of thing, and a bit of a quote and a bit of something to go along with it to align with why I'm saying those things, or why I like that picture, or what it might be able to do within somebody's day to make that difference that we need. I just put up a few photos then of my my outing yesterday, which was pretty cool. I absolutely loved it yesterday. It was good. Oh, whoops! I must have been recording that whole time. I have to fix that up later. Yeah, no, awesome little tool for how compact that is. The quality of the camera is very good. I just done a quick post then with a couple of videos from my walk from the X-ray place yesterday before I went into town, and I had, what did I do? I had Subway. That was my breakfast. Basically, I broke my fast then. I had the tuna wrap at Subway. I didn't even have my almond latte yesterday. I had water. I was trying to be as healthy as possible. It's like this morning I'm having I probably shouldn't be having a coffee because it's I'm meant to be fasting, but I will I'll get a bit more dedicated to it soon. Progress. Everything's progress. I'm not smashing food this morning anyway, so hopefully it can make a difference. Did my 40 minutes on the treadmill, that sort of thing. So yeah. All right, so I have a picture of just something saying overthinking or doing. And it's a process that we do. We have that thing in our mind all the time where we're trying to do something, but we start tangling it up rather than actually rolling it back up into a nice ball, and making it easier to use again, in a sense, and then it just consumes it. Morning, Josh. How you going, mate? Hope you had a good day yesterday, buddy. And actions are the difference, basically. So you can look at your ball of bloody yarn that's all messed up in the corner, and you can look at the jumper that you've got written down that you want to do. The only way to get that bloody jumper knitted is if you get up and start the process. So, sorry. So what I wrote was, all it takes is that snap of action. Start by fixing your ball of yarn into a nice ball of yarn so that it is ready to start to create. So it's like we do with our problems. We sit there and we'll look at them, think about it. We do write things down sometimes, but we don't always action it. We don't, so I'm doing some things at the moment, and with our actions, there's reactions, and I've got a couple of big things happening right at this minute, and it's quite scary, to be honest. It's a lot of potential risk that we've got to take at the moment, and we can sit here and look at it all day long and look at all the different problems and all the scenarios and whatever, but it's about trying to action what we need to get done to make those balls of yarn into a shopping centre of jumpers at the moment. That's how big the picture is. I don't just sit here and talk stuff. I do behind the scenes. We do quite a lot of different things, guys. It's so we're looking to get into a shop. Just to get into a shop at the moment, it's about $50,000, if not more. And that's just to sign the lease. So it's a big process. It's a big risk. I don't feel it's a big risk because we can see what's going to happen through it. Good morning, Nelly. Also that won't not only just help with what we're going to do, it's going to help with Let's Get Grounded and just life in general for myself, Christine, and hopefully be able to help a lot more people within this space as well, in general. You know, I did post something earlier as well about magnetising things, and I sat here after it and after posting it and I started thinking of there is big things coming, Nelly, big things, and even though I want all these good things, all I could think about when I thought about magnetising things was the process needs to start by helping others. And working from a moment where you're helping. So what you do, there's a process. You help people, then there's another stage with other people where you need to be there to guide them and teach them. And then there's the next stage where you need to be able to work with them. And then, you've also got to be willing to give somebody a step up. So, somebody like me, people would be like, oh, gee, he'll always want to be the top person. Not a chance in the world. If there's a person I can get here to where I am in life, if I can get them to a next level above myself, I'm gladly going to do that. Because why wouldn't you? At the end of the day. So that's how I'm looking at life at the moment with magnetising things. I'm trying to show people. I'm trying to help people as well. I'm very giving. I don't that's just me. I look at it and I do, because I've had it put in front of me as if I'm just doing it to do this and do that. And now I'm looking at. I've had a good look at it, and I see that even when I was on drugs, selling drugs and doing all those bad, horrible things in life, I always had good intentions and always tried to give more than I possibly I received a lot always back in the day, but I did give a lot considering I was a bloody selfish drug addict. Cheers, mate. Love you, buddy. And that's where I'm at now. I want to make sure that I give so much more than what I take from people. So my other business is through the government, and that is government funded, and that is a great way to be able to do good as well, because then that way the money that we're able to give away, that we have given away, it's not from us trying to make, so me as a chef, if I was to cook and give away $200,000, I'd be like, what a fool. Because that's bloody hard work, guys. But because it's a government industry and it comes through management and all that, and Christine works a bloody bum off for it, and that's why I don't feel that the profits that you can make in that industry, I think people should be more giving. I see a lot of people who work in the industry and they do very well, and to be able to be a worker and do very well, you'd think as a owner, you'd think that we'd own our own houses and all that sort of stuff, but we actually don't. We rent, and it's still a good lifestyle. But now that we're coming into this stage, I want to be able to go to another country at some stage in the coming 5 years, and I want to be able to do something where irrigation, some water, because I've read something not long ago and it inspired me to want to go do it, and that's to be able to gift a community water, make a road where it's easier to get supplies to them, because some of these places aren't able to get supplies due to navigation. So yeah, it's a bloody hard thing. Good morning, Justin. How you going, mate? Yeah, no, everyone's well, mate. Kids are off to school. Christine's just gone to take them. Yeah, so that's where that first bit comes in, where I want to help people. And as I've seen that I'm quite giving anyway, and at Christmas times and stuff, I want to be able to... I'd love to be able to create enough money through bloody Facebook subscriptions. I'm going to put up a post in the next few days about... Because it's $1.59, guys, to subscribe. And I did say it yesterday, and any money that comes in through subscriptions, I'll put up how much money it's making, and then that way people can see what's going to be available at Christmas time, guys. Because the more people I can get on here that are willing to give away $1.50 a month, that's going to be a credit to possibly be a bigger donation for you guys to get good Christmas presents. Because I figured it out. If I've got 600 followers. If 600 people did that monthly, that'd be a bit over $7,000 at Christmas time. So me being me, I'd up that to $10,000 for giveaways, and it would be I'd do about 5,000 for an online sort of thing, and then the other 5,000 I would take my own personal time and then go out into the community, whether it be town, Eastlands, Northgate, wherever, and then gift out some well-deserved bloody $100 gift vouchers, just to be, I don't know, just to give that bit of joy to individuals and see it firsthand, that, the appreciation of people, and that's the sort of stuff I want to be able to do. So, like I said, I'll do a little video to tell people why and what I want to do and why I want to do it, and I will put up evidence of where the money and what it's doing, so that then that way people can see at Christmas time, well, Lee's subscriptions are here, the money says that he's got this much or should have this much, and I'll gladly disclose all that information so that people can see what I say is my word and it is true, and because it's that time of year, Christmas time is that time of year where people just need that little bit of joy that we don't normally have, guys, especially within this space. It hurt me when I seen little Floydie at Christmas time say that, that time of year is really hurtful. It is for many people. But it's about trying to grow that idea that things can be good, things can get better. But we also create those bad moments in our head as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing with the subscriptions, guys. So on the actions are the difference with this overthinking and doing. So our minds have so many balls of tangled yarn, basically. What we need to do is start, and sometimes it's about just starting. Yes, you will come to knots and bloody tangles in your yarn, but then it's that's when you need scissors to start fixing things, and this is when we need to make a drastic movement and start cutting stuff and people, even things we love, as new habits are a part of new growth. Different versions of old habits are great, but we got to create different versions of the old habits. Like my addictive personality, I've now taken that and I've put it into business. So like after I get off here in about 15 or 10 minutes or so, I'm going to be doing book work, because I haven't done it. I didn't do any yesterday. I was a bit lazy. And it wasn't that I was lazy. I had to go out and do things. So, but in time it gets easier, guys, to see what the helpful and what it isn't, to see what's helpful and what isn't. And then life does get easier. We are always going to have situations and problems show up. Like that's inevitable, guys. And the things that are going to feel impossible. I get to that last 5 minutes on that bloody treadmill and it feels impossible, I promise. And it's, it's not like it's hard, like bloody, I'm sweating me bum off or dying. It's just me head tells me, Oh, you'll be right. It's only 5 minutes, Lee. But no, it's not only 5 minutes. It's defeat. If you give up on that last 5 minutes when you know that it's something that you need to try and do, then you need to make sure that you can get it done. Yeah, and it will get easier. Basically, it's It does get easier over time, and it takes that bit of time to, take your time. Take your time when you're in that process. Still take actions to progress, though, and make choices to change daily, guys. It's a pretty hard situation sometimes, like I said. So that's a picture of one ball of yarn and one jumper. A lot of us have so many bloody tangled balls of yarn that it gets so lost, so confusing, where you just wish you could throw it all out and possibly start again. But that's not possible, guys. You've got to learn. You do have to learn when to cut things and when to get rid of stuff. But to just grab a ball of yarn and throw it, that could have some great information within that ball of yarn that can connect you and get you the jumper that you need to make a good day for yourself. So don't ever like when you're processing things, process it properly and be willing to, like I said, you get to a knot. Sometimes you can make the knot work and just keep going. Yet you're going to have a little bit of a unnatural look in your jumper, but guess what? We're unnatural bloody humans, aren't we? We're not your normal breed. Well, I'm not anyway. So, if I had a little kink in my jumper that could show somebody that's my scar of my knitting, I'd be very proud to share that because, it's like a scar basically, guys. Whenever you have a knot in your twine, it's a little scar that you've had to reconnect. Yeah, you had to cut a little knot out of it, but you could reconnect it, do one of the best knots possible, but you're able to continue on with adjusting and rolling your yarn up. Because, like I said, don't ever throw a full ball out because you do need it. Sit it to the side sometimes. Sometimes some things that, you'll come to it, I guess when I was younger, I had the ball of yarn of my mum from when I was 17. She passed. So I had that ball of yarn sit with me for such a long time that I just twiddled with it, and I did finger knitting because I when I was younger, I used to do lots of finger knitting. And I guess then by the time I got to a certain age, I realised, well, I don't need most of this wool. And this finger knitting, there's nothing I'm actually going to be able to do with it. So I learnt to untangle all that finger knitting that I did, to recreate that ball of yarn back into just a memory of knowing that that's what caused quite a lot of my trauma through life, was that I had no one. And then I've gone from there, and I've now been able to roll it back up into a ball and realise that, okay, that ball can just sit there now. I don't like pulling it out very often, but I do understand that that's a part of my life. I do recognise that was probably a big part of why I used a lot of drugs for a long time, because I didn't deal with it. And you know what? All in all, if I talk to a counsellor, they'd probably still say that I haven't dealt with it like inner. But you can only deal with something so much, I think. At the end of the day, because you're always going to have those thoughts of, what happened? Why couldn't it? Why did it? What would have happened? What could have happened? That could be a forever process, guys. And if you sit in that spot, like I'm 44 years old, if I was still sitting in that spot of 17 thinking, gee, I wonder, well, fuck, I'd be here for a long time, because that's a lot of years to process and try to think what if. And that's what we do a lot of. We sit there saying, what if I had done that different? Even yesterday, what if I had have gone to the x-ray place and then come home and did schoolwork straight away? Well, I'd probably be a little bit smarter, guys. But all in all, I needed that little bit of a break because I've been doing so much. So I went into town, did that. I came home and I actually sat on the couch, watched a little bit of TV, nearly fell asleep. And then I came up and cooked dinner, so, you've got to be mindful of yourself sometimes too, and definitely think about what's happening for you, where you're at, because we do so much sometimes. And as ex-addicts and all that sort of stuff, no, you're all right, mate. Anytime, buddy. I'm here forever now, Daniel, until I pass, mate. No, awesome job, mate. Have a good day, and I'm glad that I'm inspiring you, buddy. And at the end of the day, we can always be something better. You're doing great, but as we know, there's always something that we could do different to be that better person of ourselves, no matter what. Some people will get to where I am and be like, sweet, I don't need to do any more, but I'm at that stage. I can only see more things that I can possibly do with the world. Keep doing what you're doing too, buddy. And I lost me process then. Sorry, guys. But it's about being willing to look at yourself, guys. At the end of the day, have a look at you, what you can do, and I think I was basically saying looking after yourself, actually. So, I took that time yesterday. I had 3 hours of downtime, and I did absolutely nothing for once. It's it doesn't. I haven't done that in a little bit. And I know I probably need a little bit more of it, to be honest, because I am doing so many different things at the moment. That's off its head. For this past few months, I have gone, I don't know, I've just reached something that I haven't been so active in such a long time, especially with my mind and trying to do things and create things. I can't wait to get things going with Let's Get Grounded properly and get a few programs and that going. But like I said, with having the ankle monitor on, I'm restricted on what I can do at this minute. Very, very close to things happening though, guys. So, let's just keep doing what we're doing and try to find those moments in that day to just untangle a bit of your yarn and process it, and then re-roll and gradually, don't unroll it all because that's too much sometimes. You're going to be able to do it every now and then just to get things done, but sometimes you just got to take your time as you're unrolling, roll at the same time. It's a process, guys. All right, have a good day, and if you need a chat, Justin, give me a buzz, mate. I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. Looks like it might be an okay day, so get out and enjoy the day. Let's get grounded, guys. There's that silly little sign down the bottom that stops me. All right, have a good day, guys. Let's get grounded. Thanks, mate.